Please stay tuned. The lies and the truth, the pains and the gains, holding your leaders accountable for their actions and inactions on People's Parliament. Join millions of our people worldwide live tonight on BVI Channel 1 as we bring you People's Parliament, where we sit face to face with our leaders in different capacity, asking them probing questions for their actions and inactions. Time 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. Call our mobile or WhatsApp on 0810454533 or call our Skype BVI Channel 1 to ask your leaders questions and be the judge. If they fail to answer you on People's Parliament, they are not your leaders. Yeah, I welcome you on today's edition on People's Parliament. This is a live broadcast. I want to use this opportunity to sincerely appreciate all our esteemed viewers all over the world who have been subscribing, who have been sharing and liking our updates out there. We sincerely appreciate you. Officially, this is the first edition of People's Parliament this year, 2019. So I can tell you, Happy New Year. Although this is the second month, and the second month just started, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot ahead of us this year. So we're going to be talking about two topical issues that have taken the frontline discussion among many Biafrans all over the world today. And that issue, or the two issues that we're going to be talking about, the topics we're going to be hammering on is the issue of referendum and election boycott or participation in the election. So today I have with me a brother, a friend, a Biafran. He's residing in America. He is by name Chinyere Ezeugo. I have him right here with me. And before we proceed to our commercial break, I would like him to say hello to our esteemed viewers. Hello, Chinyere. Can you say hello to our esteemed viewers out there watching from all over the world?
Yeah, I'm very delighted to say hello to them. If my voice is coming out very clearly. Am I coming out clear?
Live and direct. Go on.
Okay, I thank all the good people of the world, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm following in the vein of the moderator. I can equally say Happy New Year to all of you. You see, it has been a very wonderful year, and this year is going to be a full-packed action year. My name is Chinyere Ezeugo. Chinyere Ezeugo means God give King of War. If you have to translate it into the English language. I come from Isu. Isu is in Wangele, local government area of Imo State. That is where I hail from. So it's a very beautiful day, and depending on your time zone, I welcome all of you to this very wonderful edition, and I thank all of you, for having the time to participate in this particular program.
Thank you very much, my brother, and to our esteemed viewers out there, I sincerely welcome you on today's program. This is BVI Channel 1 People's Parliament. As usual, on a normal tradition here, we expect you, if you want to make your submission, you can call through the lines right there on the screen. You can also call through that line either direct or you call us through WhatsApp. You can as well join this program by searching us on Skype, BVI Channel 1, so that you can make your submissions too from there. And we'll be going for our commercial break, and when we come right back, we will hit on our topical issue today. You stay tuned, don't go away.
We can't build our future relying on those leaders whose skill sets lie in the past. No, never again, never again.
Yeah, that is it. This is BVI Channel 1, and I welcome you on today's edition on People's Parliament. We are talking about the issue of referendum, election boycott, or election participation. And I have with me here Chinyere Ezeugo, living in America, where we are going to be dissecting these topical issues. But before we go into that, I want my brother here to give us an overview of your own opinion with respect to, in generality, the background of Ndibo, and other Biafrans in Nigeria, and as well the agitation for self-determination in contemporary Nigeria today. I want you to give us your own perspective or your own view with respect to all this.
Okay, thank you very much. I think your question is very clear. I heard it very clearly. And to go straight to your question, you see, like I said, my name is Chinyere Ezeugo, the income writer, the messenger of the message of the carcass that is gathering the peoples of God, the less of God for translation because of the particular period we are in. This introduction is very, very important because my focus is not limited to the Igbo people. I have a global focus, I have a global mission. And that is why, like when you go to the Bible will tell you where the carcass is, the egos will gather. The carcass is a message. It doesn't mean a literally dead body. It means a fresh meat. Fresh meat is fresh message. So it is the message that I've been galvanizing. Most of them are in YouTube. Some of them are in YouTube. Some of them are in Watsap. Those are, very serious end-time messages, that is very much important to the people of the world so that they can understand the real present truth we are in, the present truth, not knowledge, not education you get in universities, revelation that can only come by the Spirit of the true God. That is the dispensation we are in. So to go straight to the point, because the issues of focus of today, is I can say is literally concerned, limited, almost exclusively limited to the people of the former Eastern region, if I should go by that way, or almost exclusively to the Igbos, because the issue of boycott election is there. Which has been the standpoint of the IPOP group, and referendum and all that, which actually is equally the opinion of some of the key players in the Igbo land, for instance. And the point is the methodology and all that. There seems not to be, an organized fusion, in the thing that they are pursuing. So if I should go straight to answer, you see, like my own personal opinion, when you talk about boycott, there's a sense in a boycott, and this boycott, I have to really define the boycott that I mean. The boycott that I mean, there are sequences of elections, sequences of elections that are going to take place. It is not only one ballot election. There are other sequences. You have the presidential election, you have the House of Representatives election, you have the governorship elections and all that. You understand me? So on the issue of boycott, my own opinion, the people should actually elect the people that will represent them in the parliament. That is a different cadre of election. They should be free to represent them because nature cannot exist in a vacuum. Government is a continuum. You understand me? And the issue of a franchise in election, that is the only time the people have legitimacy to choose their representatives who will represent them, because that is where they will transmit their power to go to the center, and they will, debate on their behalf and make laws. So the people's expression or people's engagement in issues of parliament, issues of government, is through their elected leaders. Once they hand over that power, they are giving their assent to it. And there are people in the parliament, they take over and they go on from there. So people must always have elections in parliament. It's a participatory democracy. It doesn't even really disturb their issues or whether you're going for self-determination or not. It doesn't, because those people you elect there, they will be your own people who will feel concerned, who feels what to feel, who will go to the center and actually, make your case well known. Even Nigerian constitution, as flawed as it is, there are many escape rules, you can use to influence whatever you want to get in Nigeria. Nigeria have a very large enough opening for you to, really get whatever you want. The only point is people are not really exploiting the loopholes in the Nigerian constitution. I will still come back to it. Then secondly, you come of the governorship election, yes. Governorship election, yes. People will equally let the governors, who will take care of them in their own various states. You understand me? I'm pro-elections in all this cadre. The only one I'm not interested, the only one I don't support is the presidential election. And I have my feelings about the president. Even in this program, I will tell you, because I've been on this for a very long time, I will tell you, if you allow me to make a post, if I expose the 2019 election, nobody will be talking about the election again anymore. If I expose it, nobody will be talking about the election. And then you come, the issue of election, you come before I can answer, about referendum on this. Let me bring the issue of Nigeria in totality as a whole. When Abiola, Chief MK Abiola was murdered, and that man died in 1998 and all that, he was the man who galvanized me into activism. You understand me? The sheer effrontery of the killing of that man and the, swaggering mendacity of the evil Chinese who actually slaughtered that man, set him up to be killed, was actually what galvanized me into what I'm doing today. So from that point onwards, when Abiola died, I was living in Lagos. I was traveling to Olodia Papa one time around, and on getting to around Coconut bus stop, I saw a company owned by Abiola and all that. There was this condolence register that was opened in his honor. And when down that road that as long as I live in this earth, and as long as the breath remaineth in me, I must find that they are killers. And I must make sure that they are prosecuted. That was an oath as well. I was a multi-billionaire then. That was my incursion into all this political activism. Some people say when God called them, they get rich. When God called me, from that time, my mom, everything I do in my life changed. I changed only on one day. Sequences of my life changed. And instead of getting richer, I have become poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer to death. I've been, sponsoring myself, through that core investigative journalism to know, to actually know why this man was killed. You understand me? Mm-hmm. Now, that's issue. Why was he killed? Abiola was killed because of reparation. I made an in-depth, there's nothing in Nigeria that I don't know. I investigated for the reparation that killed Abiola. You understand me? IPI and all that, they were front agents of, these Western powers. That was how Abiola was killed. So, what am I saying? There were lessons in Abiola's death. When Abiola died, it was a very big opportunity for this country to liberate themselves from the shackles of the devil. But they missed it. In that time when Abubakar Salami came on board, I proposed a system of government. That system of government, I called it diageopolizonitary system of government. Diageopolizonitary system of government. I originated that document. I didn't even know that this interview would come. I would have taken some time to make some research so that I'll be fully packed. But there's no problem. I would still take on the ones I can. This diageopolizonitary system of government was as a result of the complicities of the Nigerian, the Nigerian nature, the multifacious ethnic groupings in Nigeria. Now, to explain the geopolizonitary system of government, that idea stands for diarchy, because the ruler at that time is a military man. Then geo means geopolitical zones. Other ones are very easy to decode. Geopolitical zones. We have 6 geopolitical zones. Then what we are talking about, the 6 geopolitical zones, as of that time, would have stood on the principles of June 12. And what they would have done is the different geopolitical zones should go and bring their representatives. Since a military man is there, they will come and form a collegiated decision with the military man. You understand me? From there, they will now organize a way of having a conference, a sovereign constitutional conference, which the people will have the input, which will originate from the mind of the people. You understand me? On how their country will go on. But they missed that opportunity because of the same Western powers that killed Abiola. They rigmarolled themselves and brought in that criminal, through IBB and all that. They brought in Obasanjo and all that, all their fronts. And they railroaded Nigerians, and that opportunity was lost. Okay. Think of millions of people that have died as a result of Abiola's demise, the death.
All right, can we narrow it down to the contemporary issue, because we don't have too much time to go down into all those details. Now we are talking about the issue you made mention of. You pointed that you can support a representative government within the Biafra region, within the southeastern states and the south states as so called. Then, but you don't subscribe to the presidential election. I want you to point on that. Why did you not subscribe to the presidential election, but you subscribe to a representative government of maybe the governorship or those going to the parliament?
Now, speaking specifically from the Igbo angle, for instance, let me come. IPOP said they are boycotting election. Am I correct?
Yeah. In fact, they restated it by the leader of IPOB, led by Nnamdi Kanu faction, Radio Biafra IPOB. They said that they are boycotting the election. How they are going to do that, and the ones they've done before, is not on my own side to describe them. They have their own plans. Now I want you to tell us your own view.
You want me to tell you what?
Yeah, your own view about the whole election boycott, participation in the election, or the referendum. We are going to come to referendum later.
Let me go specifically on election from the Igbo angle, or Igbo or Biafran angle, if you want to sum it that way, okay?
All right.
Now, the views of various Igbo groups, you understand me, in Nigeria. I've had the views of Ohaneze. You know, I had the altercation between Ohaneze and the Igbo chairman and Yanwodo and Obiano. You know, instead Obiano called him an idiot because Obiano was supporting Buhari. You understand me? While himself was supporting Atiku Abubakar. So his own views are known. The governors are for Buhari and these ones are for Atiku Abubakar. You understand me? Mm-hmm. Then I've had the leaders of thought. They say they want to support Atiku Abubakar. Then even this ADF, they said their own analogy was even whether Buhari comes to power or Atiku comes to power, that jihad is coming and all that, the war is coming. I was the one who originally told them that jihad is coming. And of course, the jihad is on. But the difference in their position is that if they vote in, who is this, Atiku Abubakar, that it will be minimized than when Buhari is the one that is voted in. Then the app of themselves, we are talking about total boycott, you know, and all that, you know, total boycott, and to crown it all, to worsen it, you know, they said they fixed their date of referendum on the date of the presidential election. And in fact, that was even the motivation, you know, of my engagement in this particular
before you continue, I'm going to interrupt you there. We have a caller. Let's quickly take the caller before we proceed. Hello? Yeah, your name and where you're calling from, please. Be very fast.
My friend, get out from that.
You see, we have some idiots and some people who don't have manners on how to, you know, compose themselves in public, but we are not disturbed. You see, if you want to call, if you want to be part of this program, please be part of this program. But if you don't want to be part of this program, please stay away. Because we don't have the kind of Biafra. We don't have to display some kind of animal kind of attitude. We don't have to display some kind of animal attitude. You call Nigeria zoo, but you behave more or less like a worse animal. You come online, you come on a live program like this, and you start abusing people. I don't want to give you that shot, and I'm not going to take that call. The call is coming back again. Please, I want to make it very clear. If you are calling this program, if you want to be part of this program, please comport yourself, compose yourself like a proper Biafra, because Biafran people are very wise and very well composed people. They don't behave like mama. They don't behave like animals. Please comport yourself adequately. If you have anything to say, please, when your line is open for you, make your submission. Thank you very much. Go ahead, my brother. You can proceed. Sorry for that interruption.
And if I may input something, if I may add something, please, you know, this Biafran agitators, some of them are crazy bastards, you know. So let me, I can't even, I'm sorry for using that word anyway, but some of them, they don't really think with their senses. So please, you can even do me a favor. The favor you do me, let me come down with my submissions on my views pertaining to, you know, the direction of Igbos in this present time. After that, you can open the line for them. If not, they will continue to discourage you.
It's all right. Just go on with your program. We have a lot of people calling, and just go on.
Okay. Are you hearing me?
Proceed. The world is hearing you.
Okay. Now, IPOB took a stand, and their stand is very clear. They said they are in for election boycott, and their referendum will be on the Saturday that the presidential election will hold. Okay, and the method of their referendum is to sit at home and listen to their women wing. Their women wing said, buy a glupo on a seat and keep your bomb on that seat throughout that day, which means you are to cook open salad and whatever they call it, and you sit down there and there's no way, and you don't move away at all, so that the world will know that you did not participate in the election. That is, I want to really bring up. So let us look at the workability of this particular scenario, for instance, from the practical aspect of it. Before I came to America, I was a field journalist. I was a field editor. I've monitored the election. I've covered the election in every state of Nigeria. So when I talk about Nigeria, I talk with a veneer of authority, because there is no state in Nigeria I have not traversed 2-3 times. That state does not exist. So I know Nigeria very well. So on the day of election per se, for instance, there is always this there's restriction of movement. Offices are closed. Everywhere is locked down. You don't have any movement. The only vehicular movement you have at that day is people that are engaged on electoral duties. So what am I saying? Election day is already a deserted day. So if IPOB is calling for a referendum on that date, where you know that the world will see that everywhere is deserted, the place is already deserted. It makes no impact. Nobody knows whether you are up for election or whether you are not up for election. Now you talk about election boycott. What is boycott? Maybe you want to disengage from your civic duty. You want to withdraw from your right. You don't want to apply it. Okay, that's okay. In Kenya, the main opposition party, didn't they boycott election? That's on a general scale. They boycotted election in Kenya. Then what happened? Kenyatta went ahead and easily he won the election, and it became a legal option. But before the boycott of election in Kenya, there was an election that was annulled. Why was it annulled? Because the processes was flawed. And it was the opposition that brought up the flaws in the process that galvanized into the annulment of that particular election before the one they boycotted. So if they had insisted on correcting the flaws in that election, I believe the opposition would have won it in Kenya. And all these ones they are talking, IPOB said that foreign observers, they will be in Nigeria, they will write a report that Biafrans did not vote. You forget that in the Kenya election, in the first ballot that was annulled, John Kerry himself, the former American secretary, led a group of American observers to that place. What was their verdict? Their verdict was a transparent and legal election was held. That was their verdict. That a transparent, there was no disenfranchisement, that they gave it 100% pass mark. The same election that they gave 100% pass mark was the same election that was annulled by the tribunal in Kenya before the rerun in which they boycotted, and that boycott led to the opposition winning that election. You understand me? The problem with IPOB is they don't really reason down the arguments. Now, when you boycott election, for instance, I will still come back to them. If you are boycotting the election, you want to boycott the election. When you boycott the election, Buhari himself does not even need an outright win in the southeastern state to make it. All he needs is maybe to tell in the areas that the constitution provides for him to Ghana. And already their governors have betrayed you. I was listening to them. There has been an influx of Hausa Fulanis into Biafra land. Okay, why are they coming into Biafra land? Then we are the people talking about Ribadu, who was welcoming in the governor of Niger and all that, who came to participate in the campaign of. So Nigeria is already annexed to Niger Republic and all that. So people don't know how elections are conducted in Nigeria. Before I move to talk about generally how the elections are boycotted, let me finish with the issue of IPOB. So they have already enough people, Hausa Fulanis, other disguised elements, even from the INEC Advert committees and security agents, who have been weaponized with PVCs, who will vote whether IPOB, whether they come out or not. It's already a done deal. Those people will go, will vote, and their vote will be recognized. When they boycotted the number election, did you stop Obiano from winning the election? But did Obiano win the election? Ordinary on his own status, Obiano may win the election. But that Anambra election was rigged because Biafrans boycotted that election totally. It was the ad hoc staff that INEC brought. That was the people they used to rig that election. In order to cover it up, they introduced vote buying. Vote buying started in Anambra State. Go and cross-check what I'm telling you. Vote buying started in Anambra State in order for INEC to cover up their wayo. Prior to the election of Anambra State, they were gearing to give that victory to APC candidate, or whatever is his name, I don't know. But what changed their mind? They knew that Anambra people are determined, Obiano are determined. They knew some of these things. They knew that if they insist on Anambra State, they are going to lose the presidential election because their formula for rigging will be exposed. And prior to that election, you will now see that Obiano, what is it? The INEC chairman, Yakubu, met with Vice President Osibanjo. It was Vice President Osibanjo who directed him to make sure that to give the victory to Obiano. So forget about all this, they remove the security staff and all that. Forget about that. All that one is just to blind the people who don't know what was going on. That was what actually happened. So Obiano did not win that election. He was put there because he accepted the Hausa Fulanis, the herdsmen, to be in Anambra State. Go and look at it. When they went, he was the first person to go and introduce a law at the nation, at the local parliament there, to give room to create a peace committee instead of making all this ranch banning open grazing and all that. He sabotaged his people. He caught them below the belt. You understand me? So these are some of the things that Nigerians don't know about. IPOB people, I have called their leadership. They even ban me from, they get my numbers to all their platforms. They don't allow my views. I don't care about their views because they are a business franchise. And I think after this presidential election, IPOB will pack and pack forever.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I disagree with you on that because why I disagree with you on that is that IPOB as a nation, IPOB as a people will continue to remain, except you're talking about a group of persons that are calling themselves members of IPOB, because there is nobody that could be a member of IPOB. IPOB is a national identity. So I want people to always differentiate the two. I want people to separate this fact that IPOB is not an organization. But those who see IPOB as an organization, those who have taken oath in Shrine to be members of IPOB, if that is the one you're talking about, probably you might be correct. But as long as we're talking about the IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra as a people, as a nation, they are God-established nation, and nothing can wash that away from the face of the earth.
Let me take in your question. Myself, I'm an indigenous person of Biafra.
Exactly.
I am an indigenous person of Biafra by birth. You understand me?
Yeah.
Those are indigenous people of Biafra by birth. That is our birthright. Just like they have Oduduwa Republic in the southwest. But the issue is that inside the IPOB from the Igbo land, there is an organization led by Nnamdi Kanu. You understand me?
All right. Honestly speaking, I don't think Nnamdi Kanu is important in our discussion today, because what we want to bring out is facts and figures. The position of you've made mention clearly. You've clearly stated the election boycott and what election used to be in Nigeria as from first-hand information. Being a journalist in Nigeria who have monitored and reported elections in almost all the states in Nigeria, you've made your position as to the sit at home, whatever, or not coming out to participate in anything. In fact, the Nigerian election has continued to be like that. On the election, everywhere is totally locked down. So it is not it is not a new thing, just like you have pointed out. So now the next thing we want to talk about is this issue of referendum. Since they throw up this issue of referendum, this is not the first time, second time, or the third time, or even the fourth time we've heard about referendum from the same people who have continued to come up with various dates and various propagandas about referendum, as if it's a commodity that you go to ShopRite and buy from the shelf. Now, this issue of referendum and fixing it on the date of the presidential election, from your perspective, what do you think they mean by their own referendum, and how is it how does that affect the issue of election boycott or the general election in general?
Thank you very much, Chinedu. I will answer your question, from a different background, from a different background, and this is how I will answer your question. I will take it all in one gap. Like as I told you before, when they don't go to, they will not be noticed because their place is deserted. Then you talk of referendum. Referendum now brings us into the greater Nigerian polity. The greater Nigerian polity in the sense that myself, I'm a research scientist and equally a messenger of God. I speak from the revelations of what I know. If I should go step back a little bit, Abiola's death took me on a revolution of the heavenly space, so to say. I wanted to know if God exists. And it did not only take me on a revolution of the heavenly sphere, it equally took me on a revolution of the physical sphere. I was able to get into the subduction of the earth cross. I will tell you one thing. I'm speaking authoritatively, and I'm going to tell you, people that whether God exists or not, I have seen God. Watch me. I have seen the full essence of God. The only thing I did not do is to look into the eyes of God and see the eyes of God. So God exists. That is the essence of my research. I have physically seen Satan from A to Z, that I can draw him for you. So these elements are in existence. So when I'm talking on some issues, I believe to have authority over these issues. I will speak on a global sphere. If I turn this camera back, you see map of the world here. I know this world more than any world leader. This world. Wait, I'm coming back to the question.
Please, can we go straight to the question, because a whole lot of calls are coming in and we want to open up the lines. I want you to just go straight to the question and tackle the question, so that, because we don't have much time to take this this trade. Go on.
Let me finish. The world is my globe. I know America more than Donald Trump. I will still come and speak about him. I was the one who saved him from the Russian probe. Even the same shutdown will come in because they are tied down in the Nigerian election. I know China more than Jinping. I know when Goodluck Jonathan was there, I was the one who saved him from the election.
Can we just go straight to that question? Can we just go straight to that question on the position of referendum? What is your thought about that? This 16th February. I want to go straight to that, please.
This background are necessary if you will understand where I'm going. I will answer a question in a GP. Answer a question. There was a time Buhari said that God did not make a mistake in putting Nigeria together. And I agreed with him in total. God did not make a mistake. But do you know what? The God that put Nigeria together have decided to put Nigeria asunder. He have decided to separate Nigeria. So what am I talking? Even the Biafran issue is not about Igbo. The Biafran issue is not even about Igbo. The only thing, let me tell you, if you watch here, you see a clock. Biafra, there are countries that are created for God's signal. I will talk about the referendum.
Please, let's go straight to that one, because we are having lots and they are disturbing so much. Let us hit on that point. We have less than 20 minutes on this program. Just go straight to that point on the issue of referendum. Let's puncture on that, please.
Now, when you talk about referendum, the referendum itself, like I was speaking to the leaders of IPOP, and there's a very important something I want to read. Now, as I was speaking to the leaders of IPOP, when you go to the Bible, for instance, when Joshua were leading the Israelites and they got to the wall of Jericho, when you got to that wall of Jericho fell down flat. What are the procedures that led to the wall of Jericho falling down flat? The referendum question is what I'm answering. Wait. What are the procedures that led to the wall of Jericho falling down? The procedure that led to the wall of Jericho falling down flat is that it's a 7-day program. God asked them to walk around the wall of Jericho. The first day they were to make no noise, quietly walk around the first time. Second day they repeated the same thing. Third day they repeated the same thing. Fourth day they repeated the same thing. Fourth, sixth. Then on the 7th day, they were asked to shout and thunder. They shouted and thundered, and the wall of Jericho broke down flat. If you don't know, that is organized protest. That is what is there. When you now go to the Bible, you find out that the only time God was moved, it's a referendum question I'm coming. The only time that God was moved by mass was when they gathered to build the wall of the Tower of Babel. God was forced to come down to scatter their languages. You understand me? They scattered them to scatter their languages. What am I talking? They better give IPOB start down on that day and say that they are going to have their referendum on that day. It's not going to work. Nobody will notice their referendum. But there is a better way of doing the referendum, and which is by trying out what has been played out in the past, and it worked out. And the Igbos, since the existence of this world, there is no time the Igbos are facing the type of existential problem that they are facing today. And this suggestion I'm giving today may well be the last escape lifeboat from the death that is staring them in the eyes. They are not armed. You know, their places, their governors have betrayed them. The Fulani headmen have taken over their places. Now everything. So what is the type of referendum IPOB will do? The type of referendum IPOB will do that will have meaning is not the one they have plotted. The one type of referendum they will do is to say they are the people who have the people in control all over the world. Let them shut down the whole of the Southeast for 6 days. A week to the election, let them shut down no movement, no buying of anything, nothing. That is even a better referendum. You tell the people, sit at home, no activities on the first day, second day, third day, fourth day, nobody is coming out of the street. Oh, so they will not kill anybody. But on that last 7 days, every person, no matter young and old, child, let everybody come out. And let all of them in the diaspora join them on Solidarity March, that there will be no election in the whole of the Southeast. Why am I saying this? I have my reasons. Let me read one document for you. I think I still have this document. You see, I have my reasons. Why do I have my reasons? Now, Buhari is contesting election. He wants to come to a second tenure. You have not addressed our people. Now, you use Sukuk Islamic bond to build all over the southeastern region. And we know that these things, they come with a price. You saw Buhari, the man they call Buhari is the candidate. You will not see that Buhari is not the one ruling Nigeria. Osibanjo is the one committing all atrocities with the Kabas. And these are the same people who are using Islamic Sukuk bond to do all sort of nonsense they are doing in the East, of which we don't have the times. We don't have the time. If the government goes out tomorrow, then they will say, when the times will start to come in future, what are we going to say? We have already been sold. Bonded. So what are we going to do? Then we say, why didn't you ask? So now it's our to ask a student.
All right, you see, I will be forced to hold it there so that our callers will be given a chance. We are going to open up lines while we take a lot of calls have been calling. Let us quickly take the first caller. Hello. Yeah, please, your name and where you're calling from. Be very brief about that.
I will listen to what you're saying. So I think you are associated with that, right?
Please go on. This is BVI Channel 1 live broadcast. You are live on air.
Okay, I just want to tell you that you are mad.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you very much. He said, I am mad to be challenging on Nnamdi Kanu. These are the kind of people that want to get us Biafra, but we must continue. We must continue. Please go on. Our broadcast will continue, and we'll continue to churn out the truth the way it is. It doesn't matter. We're going to take another call, please. Hang on, we're going to take all the calls. Hang on so that we'll proceed. We give everybody the
Chinyere.
chance to make their submission, no matter what no matter what their submission may be. Hello, you are live on air. Who am I talking to? Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm mistaken.
Hello.
Hello, I'm mistaken. You're coming from UK.
You are calling from UK?
Yeah.
All right, your name, please.
I'm Mr. Okeze.
Okay, Mr. Okeze, your submission. You know what we're talking about.
Yes, that man talking about, he started with Abiola. I want him to understand that the case was a boomerang. And the another thing I want you to understand is this. If all of them have been talking about Biafra for years, and they didn't make any impact, and somebody come in now that will reveal a lot of secrets about the way we can get Biafra. And Andriod said that a man of vision is just like a madman. Why can't they follow him the way he wants to go to patronize Biafra? Why is it that everybody wants to cause spirits for their way to be heard?
All right, that's a very wonderful question you asked there. Why is it that everybody doesn't come under one person? But in a very sincere way, I must appreciate your question, and I must tell you the fact that you have, from 1999, Ralph Wazurike, he started it. I'm coming. We are not.
Since this struggle, it's not the party have.
Excuse me.
And let the world understand that Biafrans are suffering.
Excuse.
And made our sisters to be prostitutes. Our brothers will finish education.
Yeah. Exactly. This thing you're talking about. This thing you're talking about is not a new thing. What you're talking about, the suffering of our people is not a new thing. And we'll be hammering on it from all sides and centers. So we are not, excuse me, hang on. We are not here to pre-sing anyone. We are not here to play down on anyone. We are not here to make anyone any demigod, no matter whom you are, whether you are Waziriko, Nnamdika, Nemeka Mekesere, or whatever your name might be. Here at this platform, we give Biafran people the opportunity to say their mind. The Biafra we're talking about is not the kind of Biafra that will be like Nigeria or worse, where you pre-sing your leaders and they are there like demigods. We are here to ask people questions. So we are here to allow everybody to pour out their own submission. So if you have your own submission as to how Biafra is going to be gotten, or what is your thought on the referendum or election, you give us your own thoughts. Don't tell us this person said this or this person said that. We are not here to pitch Biafra people against themselves. We are here to give Biafra people, everyone, the platform to speak. So tell us your mind. Excuse me. We don't allow people to come here to misuse the opportunity. We give people this platform to say their mind. So please, if you have something to say, excuse me, you cannot come on this platform and misuse this platform. We set up this platform to give everybody a level playing ground. We give this platform to everybody to say their mind. Those who want to support him, let them support him, and those who don't want to stay clear from the vision. Listen, the Biafran vision is not a one-man vision. It didn't start from him and it's not going to end from him. So we are here to, I categorically have to raise my voice on him because we don't allow people to come here and start behaving somehow. If you are emotional about Biafra, fine, that's fine, but talk it in your house. But when you come on this platform, please arrange yourself properly. We are not here to play any hanky-panky game. We are not here to sing anyone. If you want to sing praises, go to the studio and start singing praises. But here, if you must speak according to your own volition, your own conviction, and tell the people your own mind, and allow other people to say their own mind. We wouldn't like the kind of Biafra that will suppress the opinion of others. When someone speaks, you now start to make some kind of antagonistic attack on such persons or their personality or no. Whether Nnamdika or Waziriko or whatsoever, we don't want anybody to come here to pre-sing anyone. And we don't want anybody to come here to downplay anyone. What we want is give us your own solution. And the guest we have here have said that this is his own version of the kind of referendum that will be more effective. And he has right to say that. So if you don't agree with him, fine. Stay on your own and let others listen. If you have your own opinion as to counter what he is saying, you bring it on. That is why we are here. But we cannot tolerate anyone to come here to impose their own will or opinion on others. We will never allow that to happen in Biafra because we don't want the kind of Biafra that will be like Nigeria or even worse. Continue, my brother. You have the floor.
So, thank you very much. Let me even go direct to that caller who just called. Let me just tell you, you see...
about the caller, you didn't make any submission. Continue with what you're saying about the election, but you have made your own suggestion as to, you made it clear that if it is possible for the Biafran people in general to sit at home for 6 days, you made a reference with the Bible, the wall of Jericho, and it was very clear that if the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, I think the election is around the 16th. I don't know what date that 16 falls on. The 16 should be around, 16 should be Saturday, right?
The election day is on a Saturday.
It's on Saturday. Now, if from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, nobody goes to work, everywhere is shut down, and people are asking, the world will be asking, what is happening in the South? They say they are protesting, they don't want to be part of this election, and they shut down everything. I think that will be sending a greater message to the world. And on the 6th day, everybody should now come out and say, we don't want this election to hold. Even before then, people will now say the election is shut down. That is your own opinion on how to shut down the election. And I don't want people to come here, instead of making their own submission, they are there trying to precinct anyone or make anyone a demigod. We don't care about that. We are here to say it the way it is, no matter who you are. Go on.
Now, let me tell you one thing. Unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth. That is by Albert Einstein. Nnamdi Kanu is called by God, but there's a limitation. And now he has become the apostate leader that have led the children of Igbos into apostasy. I want you to know it. He is talking that Buhari, the cabal are holding him hostage. The same way the cabal are holding Buhari hostage, is the same way the cabal of Uchemofo and all these other, their reps and all that, are holding Nnamdi Kanu captive. They don't even know what the is all about.
That is not is not even our interest, honestly speaking. We don't have any interest in that. We want your own submission. You have made one point, and we want you to address the other ones. Forget about any individual.
Address the other one. Let me address the other one. The method I have told you. Now, the American passed an alert to their citizens, and we still come to interpret that alert. That alert is here because when you don't know where the rain started beating you, when you don't know where the rain started beating you, we are in trouble.
Yeah.
I did it with the dream of faith.
1 second. I told you we are going to be opening lines. We'll be interrupting you. Let's give this person a chance to talk. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, your name and where you're calling from. Be brief about that, please.
Yeah, my name is Gerald, okay?
All right, Gerald, okay. You are calling from Germany?
I'm calling from Germany.
Go ahead, proceed, please. You are live on air.
Yeah, you know one thing, I'm too studying your program, I'm respecting your program, okay? But sometimes the people that support your program, I don't know, don't the way like this. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, but every Biafran have right to grace my program. As long as you are with Biafran, you have and you're entitled to your opinion, and you can grace this program.
Yeah. Like last time you go to that time, I followed your program that when you go TikTok in Ghana. Then you were saying about hello?
Go on, please. Go on, we are hearing you and the world can hear you.
Okay, yeah. You said about short-term election. Because maybe I feel to the said about for election. Now, can't come again, I can't see it again. But for example, this man that he doesn't make a point. He talks about of the election of other states, and I took it to other places across the election. Then I was supposed to vote the election. Then after they choose the people governor, the winner. Then now, because it's supposed to support the election, I don't think that it makes sense.
What is your own submission? That is what we want to get. What is your own submission?
My own submission is, please, tell that man tell that man to go out of there, because it doesn't make sense.
You see, that is the attitude we are going to cure for many Biafrans, not to be tolerant with each other. If you cannot allow anyone to speak their mind, I wonder the kind of Biafra we are looking for. Here, we are trying to cure the madness in Biafra. We must cure that. We must cure that whether you like it or not. There are millions of people following this platform. There are a lot of people following this platform. There are a lot of Biafra people following this platform. And we must respect the rights of everyone in Biafra land, no matter their own submission or their own point of view. We don't care about where you're coming from. We don't care about your name or your status. We don't care about what you've done or what you've not done. What we care about is giving the Biafran people the right to choose for themselves what they want. And when they say this is what they want, you don't have any right to impose your own will on them. We must start from now. We must start from now. Let Biafra not come. If Biafra will be the kind of Biafra that the people will not have right to express themselves freely, then let there be no Biafra. But Biafra must come. And because Biafra must come, we must ensure that people are properly sanitized so that they will respect human value. They will respect individual submission. In Biafra, everyone will be entitled to his own opinion without fear or favor or any kind of molestation whatsoever. Hello, who is on me?
Hello.
Yes.
Hang on,
Hello?
we still have another caller. Go ahead. Who is on the line with me, please?
Yeah, my name is Carlo.
Carlo, proceed. Where are you calling from?
Thank you so much I'm calling from Germany.
You're calling from Germany. Proceed, please.
I thank you so much. I thank all your efforts. I thank all the members of IPOP and all the citizens of Biafra.
There is no member of IPOP, please. I always correct that impression. Here, we don't tolerate anyone calling anybody any member of IPOP. There is nothing like member of IPOP. Everyone, if you're a Biafran, you are a Biafran by birth. You are not a Biafran by membership. Go on.
And I don't go or have a dispute with you or with the program. The whole thing around this struggle is understanding. We are talking about having our freedom. If Hausa or if they or whatever what they call themselves, those not people, if they are the one that has everything we have, they could have pulled out from that country for a long time. If they are the one that have all the things, all the intellectuals, the brain, industrials, forget about the oil or whatever. If they are the people that has the brain or the wisdom we have, they could have pulled out from that country for a long time. If you persist that the world go out to fight war and go out. But I thank God for us. We are struggling or pushing this struggle without any weapon, without any trouble or being harmed or liberated elsewhere. But they rather harmed us. If to boycott the election would be the best, let us work together and boycott the election. Since I knew something since I was born, and I came to a knowledge of knowing what good is good or what bad is bad, they pick me. They have been voting, we have been voting, we have been voting till today, nothing changes. Nothing changed. We are still trying. That's what we are not thinking about the work we have been doing all this work. We have it us to. Can we go in there? But we go in there. I'm very and you can lead me or person and you go on here. We should be partisan. People who we have most we can we can say about that. Nigeria is easy. Nigeria Zoom will be Britain. Believe me, or Zoom will be Britain. India will be bouncing around the China will be playing. There are people that take care of it. They are going for resisting. The only one that is EU. You tell your decision. You tell your I will say, no, Biafra, the way I am one African, and hatching Ghana money, and more. You know that you can figure out aspect. Biafra, they are not already, but they are not even when it comes to them, but they go to the original one. And Biafra, APA, who are on the mouth. Now, BBC London here, APA and Grammars Land, Biafra there.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much. But before you go, I like to get some few questions. Then we interact. Then I'll allow you to go and allow our guests to react to your submission. I sincerely appreciate your submission there. It is very straight on point. All you've said is in order. Now, the issue of election boycott. How many years have we indulged in election boycott? Now, let me give you a breakdown of it. In 1999, Ekwenche, you know about Ekwenche? Ekwenche, during the 1999 election, called for election boycott. It failed. Masob, under Wadurike leadership, called for election boycott. It failed. The Radio Biafra IPOB called for election boycott in Anambra State. It failed. All the time that it had been applied, it failed. Now, I'm not talking about the failure or why it is failing, but we must understand that the reality on ground. If you say I should wish anything, I will wish that every Biafran will stay indoor and not come out to vote. Every single Biafran should stay indoor. If you are even assigned to work in the pool, either as a collation officer or nothing, you should stay indoor. If every Biafran can do that. But the question is, would every Biafran sit at home? Of course. Nna ka anyị ghara igbu oge ihe nna ajụ ịma na ajụ nga ajụjụ asị m na election a na-ekwu okwu ya na ọ bụrụ na ndị be anyị niile ga-ekwenye na ọ bụrụ na is mark that word ma ọ bụrụ na if now the question nna ajụ will it be possible for every Biafran to sit at home? We are dealing with reality. Excuse me. We are not dealing with ideal. Like I said, ideally, I wish that everybody should stay at home. But the reality on ground is this question: will every Biafran sit at home? That is the reality we are trying to deal with. Because if you consider poverty, these politicians, these criminal politicians that have mortgaged the life of Nigerians, whether you are Biafran, Arewa, Oduduwa, they are all in the same shoe. All the politicians in Nigeria have mortgaged the life of all other Nigerians. And now they are using, excuse me, calm down.
Stop questioning.
All right. I think. All right. That is what we are dealing with, and I think we have made a very, very important point. A lot of people are already on the line, so that we can allow them to also make their submission. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. All right, my brother, you can proceed. He's talking about election boycott. A lot of people are rooting into election boycott, but unfortunately, most of these people talking about election boycott are living in diaspora. They are not seriously facing the poverty that the people are facing right here. The reality on ground, that is what we are dealing with. I am not supporting anyone to go and vote for anyone or any particular candidate. That is not what we're doing here. But we are addressing issues the way they are. The reality on ground is that there is a high rate of poverty. Can you possibly make the people of Biafra to stay at home? The issue of referendum. There are a couple of referendum, except you are protesting, you call it sit-at-home protest and not a referendum. So you don't use words to confuse people that are already confused. Referendum in this actual sense is a presbytite to come and exercise through voting what you want. Election is a kind of referendum, but the referendum we are talking about is to choose whether or not to remain in Nigeria or to go our separate ways. That is the referendum every Biafran is looking out for. And since the issue of announcing referendum, since over 5 years, 6 years now, every year announce one referendum. Every year announce one referendum. The thing that this year came from has Biafran agitation has now become a ridicule and a mockery everywhere, because we keep making a mockery of ourselves. The word can be beribe. Can South Sudan here, they did their referendum. They had the process they followed and they got their referendum. Scotland in Britain did their referendum. Did they do their referendum by sitting in their houses during the election in Britain or in South Sudan? No. How did they get to the point of referendum, it is a process. It is not something that you sleep and wake up and it will be announced to you. You need to follow that process and get to that destination, to that point where the world will have no other choice than to say, you conduct your referendum, or let the world come and supervise your referendum. At this time, what I want to make it very clear, I wanted to make it on a separate list, but I just have to chip it in here, that the referendum now the country is calling on is a protest or sit at home. It has nothing to do with referendum in the actual sense. And I believe most of you who are listening to me understand that fact. That is good. That is fine. But we all understand the fact that in Alibo, there had been since my whole life, nobody here have never voted for once. I have never voted for once anywhere in the world. Not in Nigeria, not elsewhere. I've never voted. So, I'm a high level of voter apathy in Nigeria, among people especially. So, somebody that is talking about boycott of election, that our people are already cultured in boycotting the election without even demanding for anything. They stay in their home and say, oh, Jebego, and that is the end of it. And at the end of the day, if again, it is a fact that now there were so many anomalies, there were so many things that is wrong with the system, that the people have given up hope, they've thrown in the towel.